pitch clock has been getting a lot of attention since the start of spring training, and overall it feels like fans fall on one of two sides. They either love it or they hate it. We've seen a lot of crazy stuff just in the last few days. We've seen the Red Sox and the Braves game end in a tie.
He's out. They have called strike three! Wow!
We've seen Max Scherzer turn a double play that didn't count because he didn't pitch in time.
The major leagues, except against the Mets. Rolls one down to third. Escobar is going to go to second, and they'll turn two that way. And wait a second. We have a violation called against Scherzer.
We've also seen Scherzer messing with hitters' timing by holding the ball, forcing batters to call timeout, and then quick pitching them.
It has an unusual rhythm here.
We've seen a lot of batters strike out looking, even one hitter getting 2 pitch clock violations in the same at-bat, leaving hitters pissed and pitchers confused.
Off towards Tom Kelly Field. And Minnesota, and you go just a tad bit north, and you can catch Atlanta. And now we're going to say called strike three, Jonathan Davis. He wasn't engaged.
We've seen fans screaming fake pitch clock times to force balks and confuse pitchers.
And some fans were counting down 3, 2, 1 to try to induce the balk.
We've seen pitchers going at ultra-fast speeds and at-bats lasting what feels like 10 seconds.
Oh, a little quick pitch right there. Well, Wandy Peralta.
Quick pitch for the clock. How about that?
He got the 16 seconds there, or he's got the 12 seconds there, I think. And now Tucupita's down 2 strikes within 8 seconds.
Wow.
The pitch clock has changed the game so far this spring, in these ways and many, many more. Here's a tweet by Jason Starr showing the impact of the pitch clock this spring training. The average game time this spring has been 2 hours and 39 minutes. Last spring at this point, the average game time was 3 hours and 1 minute long. That's 22 minutes shorter. There's been 65 games played so far, 113 violations. That's 1.74 per game, almost identical to the 1.73 in the first week in the minors last year. 85 of these have been on the pitcher, and 28 of these violations have been on the hitter. Although from the tweets that you see, it feels like most of them have actually been on the hitters. It's interesting that a lot more have been on pitchers. Now, some fans will complain that they don't want less baseball. I know I don't want less baseball, but there is still action. And the 22 minutes of shorter gameplay is actually mostly the dead time that's happening between pitches. That's what's being shaved off. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'm going to give you a few more of mine. In general, I like the pitch clock. I like the idea of the pitch clock. I was getting tired of watching pitchers walk around the mound for what felt like an eternity. I was sick of watching hitters step out of the box and take 15 deep breaths before stepping back in the box. And I think it's the right idea to try to eliminate some of these unnecessary habits that both hitters and pitchers have used over the years that really slow the game down. But I do feel like you don't want to completely take that away from the game because the sport wasn't meant to be played at a sprinter's pace. You want strategy to still be part of the game. Strategy is a huge part of baseball. A pitcher needs time in between pitches to think about what pitch he wants to throw next and why. Pitchers are trying to set up hitters. They read how a hitter reacts to a certain pitch, and that helps them decide which pitch they want to throw next. Now, a hitter also needs time in between pitches to anticipate what pitch he will see next. This is all part of the game. It's a chess match between the pitcher and the hitter. And I think sometimes fans think that the time between pitches is just for the hitter to adjust their cup and tug on their batting gloves and spit a few times and then step back in the box. And although a lot of hitters do a lot of these things, while they're doing that, they are thinking the entire time. So again, they're trying to anticipate what pitch could be coming next. They're making adjustments from pitch to pitch. And so far this spring, I do feel there's been times when watching games that I feel like the game has felt rushed. And this isn't all the time. It doesn't always feel fast. I think certain batters haven't yet figured out exactly how to take some of the control of the pace of the game. and it feels like the pitchers are in a little bit more control right now. But I think that will continue to change over time as hitters adapt to the new rules. I think like anything, the more we become accustomed to this and the more that the pitchers and the batters are used to practicing this, the more it will start to fade into the background. And one other thing that I think will be helpful is that once games start in the regular season, the pitch clock will not be visible from the camera shot. And so us as fans aren't going to have to watch that clock tick down, because I mentioned in a prior video that it does give me a bit of anxiety watching the clock tick down and listening to the announcers talking about the clock ticking down and listening to the fans screaming as the clock ticks down. I think because it's still new for so many of us, we pay attention to it a lot more and bring more attention to it. But in sports that I'm used to seeing a clock, whether it's a basketball shot clock or a football play clock, they become part of the game, but they don't consume the viewer of the game. So those are my general thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, give it a thumbs up, all that good stuff, and we'll talk to you later.